Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, based on the location where you are. We're so great to have a bunch of people already joining right from the beginning of the webinar. And yeah, hello, Katri. Yeah, absolutely. Please let us know where are you sending us greetings from. We are sending greetings from Finland, so from the Northern Europe, and let us know where are you from. It's always so nice to see people joining the webinar all around the world. So very, very nice. And this time we will have, or we have, a completely different webinar concept. Today we are having a very nice, cozy fireside chat webinar with Sara, and we don't have any slides, we don't show anything to you, no presentation. Today is time for chill chat, and I would like to welcome everybody to join our conversation via asking questions. Please post your questions to the chat that you can see probably on the right side of the screen, and just post any questions you have to the chat, and we are taking them on the go or as we can. And it's good to know also that this webinar is recorded. We will also send recording to everybody afterward. And well, that's maybe the official housekeeping part, and maybe now let's get started with short introductions as well. This webinar is organized by CX Forum. CX Forum is global customer experience professionals community that's created by CX professionals for CX professionals to share the knowledge, to spark discussions, just like we're doing today as well. And I am Evely Kaasiku. I am actually a marketing manager at Feedbackly, in addition to helping with the community work in CX Forum as well. And today we have with us Sara Toivakainen, a Chief Customer Experience Manager at Stockmann. Stockmann is then one of the leading retailers in Finland, definitely. And we're so happy to have you here, Sara. Welcome, and maybe a couple of words about you as well.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Evely. Nice to be here. So my name is Sara Toivakainen, working as the Chief Customer Experience Officer at Stockmann. And well, I've been working in several CX-related roles, both in-house roles and then as a leading management consultant as well. And somehow the customer experience and customer centricity has been always there. So that's my professional passion. For Stockmann now, about 4 years, and currently leading our customer experience and insight unit.
Mm-hmm. And Sara, you are working at the wonderful company Stockmann. Stockmann here in Finland and in the Nordics and in Baltics. We know it really well. It's definitely one of the leading retailers, and we all know how great is the brand, and customer loyalty is well known there as well. So could you say us a little bit more about Stockmann? Because actually we have people joining all around the world, and some people might not know that much about it.
Well, yes, in brief, Stockmann is a premium retailer, as you Evely mentioned, operating in Finland and then in Baltics as well, so in Estonia and in Latvia. We have altogether 8 department stores, and then our online channel as well. Well, the history of Stockmann is already long, so we have 160 years history, and that's maybe the reason why the brand is so iconic and so beloved in Finland. I would say that everyone knows the brand here in Finland, at least.
Absolutely, it is so true. It is very much so. And nowadays Stockmann is very well known about the great customer experience quality there. And it definitely is very important for Stockmann. But how would you say, or what would you say is the role of customer experience for Stockmann?
Yeah, well, that's a wide question, definitely. But what would I say is that it is everything. It's in the epicenter of everything what we do. So the customer experience and customer centricity is our approach to everything, I would say. So the last few years we have been working for a quite big financial and business transformation, and the customer centricity has been the approach for that has been driving our transformation as well. So whatever we do, it's somehow related to our lovely customers. Anyway, our organizational structure is based on the customer centricity. We have whatever I would say. So bonus model, always every Stockmann staff member has the CX targets in their bonus targets, and all processes, all investment decisions, whatever we do, it's somehow related to the customers, and that's our kind of key priority in everything what we do.
Mm-hmm. So basically everybody knows about customer experience, do they have
Yes,
access to
it's
reports?
a crucial
Then
part of our culture and of
mm-hmm.
our leadership and everything. So yes, I would say that we have everyone on board, which is a very good starting point. And it wasn't easy to get everyone on board. But what I mean is that everyone at Stockmann knows, first of all, who are our customers and what are they expecting, and also then that how are we performing in the light of customer experience, and where are our let's say our strengths, or where are our pain points, and so on. So yes, it's a very crucial part of our daily life, but it's also a strategic kind of starting point. So it's so that we don't have a separate, let's say, customer experience strategy or a separate business strategy. We have only one strategy, which is our Stockmann customer centric strategy. So it's truly a starting point for everything what we do.
Mm-hmm. Maybe actually it would be even good to open up a little bit more about it, because we know that every company would like to get that far, that they are customer centric, they can say they are customer centric, that they have customer experience at the heart of everything, and at the heart, inside the heart of hearts of people as well. So it's maybe just a couple of words that how have you come that far? And it has been a long journey for sure. You mentioned as well it takes time, but just maybe a couple of tricks and tips that our listeners could follow.
I know that I would say that most of companies are saying that the customer centricity is the strategic starting point for them. And hopefully I can in this webinar to share some sort of examples that how do we at Stockmann kind of walk the talk. But as said, it is very strongly integrated in everything what we do. So that's maybe one very, how would I say, concrete way to make it real and to walk the talk. As I mentioned, it's also a strategic decision to take the stand for the customer centricity. So that's definitely the most important starting point, that we have got to set it as our strategic priority, and then very, very systematically integrated it in everything what we do. So as I said, leadership, bonus model, processes, culture, ways of working, whatever you name it. So it's always there.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. Thanks for that. And now let's jump to the emotional experience. So more specifically about today's topic. And now a really easy question again, a simple and concrete question of what is the role of emotional experience then in Stockmann or for Stockmann?
Yeah, well, that's actually quite a challenging question in a way. I would say that emotional experience it's very crucial for Stockmann. And why? It's because we are, as a retailer, we are in a, how would I say it, emotional business. So we really need to be able to create an emotional connect with our customers. And why is that? That comes from the fact that if we are able to build the emotional connection and strong emotional connection, that will also lead to more loyalty or more stronger loyalty from our customer side, and also to kind of, how does it, boost the shopping behavior that we are expecting. So in a way, the emotional experience and understanding it, that's the clue for the targeted business benefits as well. So creating more loyal customers and creating more sales. So understanding the emotional experience is maybe the thing where we believe in, and that really matters.
Yeah, so basically emotion experience is in the core of your customer experience. So basically
Yes.
they are equal, right?
Yeah, exactly. Again, it starts from the strategy and from our customer promise and targeted customer experience, which is feeling that lasts. So what we want to do or create is a feeling that lasts in every encounter with our customers. And that's obviously one reason why we see emotional experience that important that we see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and for those who, for some people, emotion experience is still a fairly new topic. So it's great to remind maybe also of what it means. So 90% of the decisions people make today, we know that are based on emotion. And in customer experience, during the last years, we have also seen a big shift in thinking. And I think all the CX professionals know that today people buy or purchase rather brands and experiences than product, right? And that's exactly what you're,
Exactly.
Sara, saying
Yeah.
as well, right? And so experiences consist of emotions, and that is why exactly this emotion comes to the core. Did that kind of explain the thought also behind what you wanted to say, or what was the trigger why Stockmann started measuring emotion experience?
Yes, well, again, starting from the strategy and from
Right.
the customer promise. So because our customer promise and target customer experience is the feeling that lasts, as mentioned, we also wanted to measure it somehow. So we wanted to know how do we perform with it, and what kind of emotional experiences or emotions we are able to evoke among our customers. And that was maybe the first trigger why we wanted to measure it, that because we as I mentioned, we identified the meaningfulness of our emotional experience and how important and crucial it is for us to create very strong emotional connection towards our customers. Then we also wanted to somehow validate it or understand more about it and so on. Before we started to measure emotional experience, we were measuring, well, NPS has a very familiar and a known metric, but we also thought that NPS it didn't give us the understanding that we were looking after. So in a way, we needed more understanding, more deeper understanding, and then especially more actionable and more relevant understanding. So NPS wasn't kind of filling our needs anymore, and that's why we were looking for different sort of solutions. And then emotional experience was the approach that we wanted to go for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, I think. And if anybody has questions, like I see Katri has already written, then please just write them to the chat. And actually, right now is also a great moment to ask questions from our audience. So I have here one question prepared to you. And right now we went through also the meaning of emotion experience. So is your business already measuring emotional experience? The poll popped up to you now, and you can find it just next to the chat. And it would be great to hear what are you doing, and we'll get back to checking the results soon as well. And Katri, yeah, I will come back to the question that you asked. It's a really good one, and I will come back to this soon as well. But now, regarding emotion experience, then I think it's a great time now to jump a little bit deeper. That how exactly can something as abstract as emotions actually measured? It sounds like it's impossible. How are you doing it?
Yeah. Well, maybe it's almost impossible, but we are using emotional value index called, or EVI is how do we call it. But emotional value index is giving us quite a good tools to understand the emotional experience of our customers. So that is the metric that we are using. I don't know if you will ever say something about it first, and then maybe I will continue.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So emotional value index is a score that's very similar to NPS. It's also a score from 0 to 100. And the score is calculated based on the answers to a very specific survey. Just like NPS has a specific survey, the same way there is the so-called the EVI survey. And this survey is very special because this has 9 emotions in a circular form, and this is created based on great and scientific research. So it's something special. And yeah, actually, and if anybody wishes to learn more about it, then www.emotionvalueindex.com can be learned also more. But yeah, so you're using EVI, and could you bring us an example, for example, that what role does EVI play in this emotion experience measurement and in customer experience measurement for Stockmann?
Maybe commenting first from kind of user perspective in a way, so that EVI is very kind of easy to use, and it's just like Evely says, it's a little bit like NPS, which was already familiar to our people as well. So it can be something between -100 and +100, and it's quite a simple way to use. It's simple one figure that we can follow, and it's our key KPI for CX and key KPI actually for our business as well. So as I describe the role of customer experience at Stockmann, you can maybe imagine how important is then also the key KPI metric for us. So it's something that we are following on a strategic level and on a daily level and everything between those two ends. But and how do we then do it? So the EVI metric is the one that we are using always in a way. So our approach is based on the customer journey of Stockmann. So that has been the framework for our CX program, so to say. So we have the customer journey, and then we aim to understand how the emotional experience and customer experience is evolving across the customer journey. We have implemented EVI to several touch points, and we aim to measure each kind of phase and key touch point of our customer journey. It's always somehow, how would I say it, embedded into the customer journey, so that we don't like to bother our customers with endless amount of surveys, but we aim to make it as smooth and as kind of as a natural part of the journey as possible. So for example, we are measuring EVI after the department store visit, after actually already before, and then also after the online store purchase, and then, for example, in our Stockmann magazine, which is very appreciated magazine produced by Stockmann, in our events. So several different touch points along the customer journey, and always by the same way, so that we can really see that how the emotional experience is, as said, evolving or developing across the customer journey, and where are our pain points in a way, and where we success well, and so on. Mm-hmm. It's easy to use for us, but it's what is even more important definitely is that it's easy to answer for the customers. So
yes, and so basically, to sum it up, basically you have a big customer journey overview, and then
yes,
if the score says so, then you start drilling down
exactly.
everywhere.
So
right?
we always the EVI question there. So for example, how are you feeling, or what is actually the question is that what is your emotional state when for example visiting at stockmann.com or however, and then we always ask also that why this particular feeling, and these two questions comes first, so that first the customer gives the emotional state, and then always some open feedback. Well, the open feedback is not mandatory, but quite many customers are giving us open feedback, and it's usually very, how would I say it, high quality feedback, because it's something we are not asking something special. We are just asking that why this feeling, and it's usually so that customers gives the very kind of top of mind thinking, or they share the thinking that they had in their minds, and what is kind of the most important one, what is the top of mind thought they had when choosing the emotion. So we have got a lot out of it in a way. So it has been very kind of high quality open feedback. And then there is always about one more question. So we have usually 3 to 5 questions in the survey, meaning it's quite like a pulse survey. And the last one is somehow related to the touch point. So again, using the department store visit as an example, there is the EVI, then the why this particular feeling, and then we have a service satisfaction question there as well. So we asked that how satisfied you were with the service that you got in the department, and then at the cashier. In some other touch points, it's something else, but it's always somehow related to the touch point, giving even more and even deeper understanding on how do we perform in that particular touch point. So then using example then as our delivery process. So after the delivery, we again ask the EVI, and then why this feeling, and then how satisfied the customer were with the delivery time and the delivery options and the packaging quality. So always something very, very kind of relevant and actionable from that specific touch point of view. But what is common to all touch points is the EVI, and then the why this feeling, and then always something touch point related, actionable, additional information, so to say.
Yeah, that was now actually a very good example, very good practical example, and I hope that our listeners now also took a note that this was very, very good example. And
if any questions, I'm happy to answer. So please use the chat. So I'm happy to share even more examples if you hope so.
Yes, absolutely. Please ask. And let's quickly check the poll results as well. And now we have been talking a lot about how Stockmann is measuring emotion experience, and you're using emotional value index for it. And our chat says that actually 5% of our audience is right now measuring emotion experience. So not too many have got started with it yet, but 60% are thinking about it, considering it.
That's quite a high amount of people, so it's almost 60%. So it is an interesting topic.
It sure is, and exactly. Just feel free to ask questions. And since you are right now checking here questions, then let's take Katri's question in between here as well. And Katri has asked a little bit about the employees' well-being. And Sara, please explain additionally, what is the role of your employees in the customer centricity model, and how do you take into account your employees' well-being? What are you doing to make your employees, so-called, make your employees customer-centric, and are you measuring employees' EDI, for example, as well?
Thank you, Katri. Very, very good question. So well, we believe, yes, that employee experience and customer experience are strongly linked to each other, and yes, we do how would I say, put a lot of effort on the employee experience side as well. If I think from that perspective, that how do we kind of create the culture for the customs or customer-centric culture, and how do we kind of onboard our people and team members to be as customer-centric as possible, or how are we doing them, making them customer-centric, as you said. It takes time. That's the first thing. It doesn't happen so that we just say them that please be customer-centric. No, of course, we need to concretize it somehow. We need to integrate it in our people processes as well. We need to help them understand their own role in the customer centricity, or in the customer, or how do they, for example, influence into customer experience. As I mentioned, the bonus model is something as one good tool and one example to make it, or to bring it to everyone's agenda in a way. We have done a lot of work for the transparency in a way, so meaning that every single Stockmann staff member has an access to and visibility to our EVI data and customer feedback and all that. So it's something that is very visible in our intranet, in our tools and channels that we are internally using. We are talking about these topics on daily basis. We are keeping them on the agenda, helping everyone to think from the customer angle. So many different ways to create customer centricity into the company and into the culture. But anyway, it takes time and it needs very systematic work. So that's also a crucial thing that we just need to do it step by step and kind of sticking to our plan in that sense, that if we then do, how would I say it, communicate it by the complex way, or if we don't appreciate the customer centricity in everything, if we are giving mixed signals that something else is more important, then it wouldn't be the most customer-centric outcome, I would say. So it's important to put a lot of effort, give time, and integrate it very systematically to everything. And then you asked that how then from the kind of employees' perspective about well-being, and are we measuring EVI, employees' EVI? Currently not. We have piloted it, yes, and it might even work, but we actually have such good tools to understand our employee experience and different tools to deep dive in the employee feedback that we haven't yet taken it into the kind of use, so that we would have a internal EVI as well. We have piloted it for example in some internal events or some projects or so, but not so that we would ask it from every employee. But yeah, this was now quite a long story. Hopefully I was able to give you an answer.
Yeah, thank you. And indeed, it was a good good explanation and good examples and very, very practical examples again. So definitely great points. And now, basically, you have said it many times and indicated it many times, CX has moved to the heart of Stockmann, and also there happened a change in the main KPIs. You mentioned also that actually you were using NPS before, but what was the main reason for Stockmann to transfer from NPS to EVI as one of your main KPIs?
Yeah, well, I think we actually touched this topic earlier a bit already. So it was a strategic choice. It was because our customer promise and target customer experience is feeling that last, not create promoters in that sense. It was creating feelings that last. So we truly kind of had a clear need to understand the emotional experience. And then we also felt that it would give us, and it has given us a lot more and a lot deeper understanding of our customers, and it is guiding our development actions better than only NPS.
Mm-hmm. And now when we are thinking about these other KPIs that we just mentioned, NPS, and you were mentioning that actually you are measuring also satisfaction and other KPIs still, as well as in different touchpoint based on touchpoint needs. But actually we have also received a lot of questions that if the EVI score has similarities with NPS and CSAT scores, have you find this kind of similarities or correlations, and basically what does EVI then help to find out, or like what is the main difference between EVI, XAT, NPS? Like why now my question goes pretty wide, but basically could you explain like a little bit like about the correlation, that there is a correlation, you chose EVI, but what have you found like inside there, that what kind of similarities, or how much are you today comparing even these kind of metrics, or have you just gone with one?
Yes, well, in the beginning we were measuring still both NPS and EVI, and we somehow tried to identify the correlation between these two metrics, but quite soon we also learned that it's not so relevant. They are different metrics, measuring different topics and different approaches. Why would we actually try to find the correlation between those two? So no, nowadays, currently, we are not anymore following that kind of correlations. We, as I said, we measure the satisfaction still, and of course, we can. It's quite obvious that we can see some sort of correlation between these two. So that if we, for example, if we are able to deliver a very high quality premium service, of course the service satisfaction is high, and usually the emotional experience and the EVI is high as well. So usually it's so. Or if we are if we are creating a disappointment to the customer, well, the emotional value index is also going down or quite low in that kind of situation. So there is a natural correlation between these two topics, definitely. But we are not following it or following these kind of correlations because, well, we haven't found it relevant. So mostly we are following the EVI and then understanding the reasons behind it and what is driving positive EVI and what is driving negative EVI. That's more relevant for us to understand than the correlation between two figures.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And just we are let's now move forward to the results area. We all are really interested in what really measuring EVI EVI can give us. We have talked right now about measuring, that how it can be measured in different touch points, how it's compared to different other KPIs, but just on a general level, that what do you see that measuring emotions or EVI actually has given to Stockmann so far? What have you achieved thanks to this? And what are you aiming to achieve also in the future thanks to measuring it?
Yes. Well, as I said, we have identified that the emotional experience is very, very crucial for the customer loyalty, for the shopping behavior that we are targeting, and so on. So it's important that we understand what is driving the strong, positive emotional experience. And EVI has kind of given us a tool to understand it and to follow it. So that's maybe the most important thing. Then it has helped us and every single Stockmann staff member to understand it better. That what does it mean? What is emotional experience? How do we evoke positive emotions in our customers? And that's also important. That has supported us on the transformation path where we are currently in. So it has driven the customer-centric culture and so on. So that's also very crucial, that people truly understands that how do we create positive emotions? Why is it important? How can I affect on this and so on? So that's at least something that EVI has been a good tool. It has supported our cultural transformation and our business transformation. I would say those are the most important points, at least.
Yeah, and we know that Stockmann has made an amazing turnaround with your growth and business, and we can see news about
we're
Stockmann.
On our way. Not yet there, but we're on our way.
Right, but there are already so great news how Stockmann is definitely growing and doing really great job on the sales and revenue side as well, and growth in general. What do you see the role of emotional experience, measuring emotional experience, what has been in this growth and revenue increase even perhaps?
Well, again, it has had quite a supportive role in a way. So it has, well, I said now already many times that it has helped us to understand those crucial things. That how do we create value for our customers? That's for sure true. But then of course we have had the assumption that if we are able to create a positive emotional experience, that will lead then to business benefits as well. And if I use e-com as an example, as I mentioned previously, we are measuring so-called pre-purchase experience in our online store. So before the customer has purchased anything, we are checking there that how are you feeling when exploring our web store. And now maybe even for the first time I put to the same graphs on the visualization, I put our EVI, pre-purchase EVI, and then the conversion, that how big share of customers convert to the buyers in the end. So what is the relationship between conversion in e-com and pre-purchase EVI in e-com? And it was in a way shocking to see that they goes 100% hand in hand. So that as said, that was our assumption definitely. But now with the EVI data, we're truly able to validate it and make it visible that it counts. What is the emotional experience there? It truly leads to more revenue, or the bigger revenue. And this is crucial to understand, that how do we then improve the EVI, because that will then lead to higher conversion, and that's something that we can follow on a daily basis, and we can truly see that that's how it goes. it's not surprising. It was the assumption, as I said, but still it was shocking to see how hand in hand those two figures goes. And now when we are doing the transformation, the financial transformation, and putting a lot of effort to transfer the business into profitable end, it's so important to understand the emotional experience and understand how can we improve there, because that will lead then to business benefits as well.
Right, and actually, Jorge, I think that right now we answered also your question. Jorge has asked from us that did you find correlations between positive emotion selection and incremental sales attached to shoppers? So that's basically what has happened, right? In hand,
exactly.
they are.
Exactly. Yeah, there are several examples of this, but this e-com pre-purchase experience and then the conversion is maybe the newest one.
Yeah, and that's really interesting fact, and I would say it's powerful. It sounds somewhat scary, but it's so powerful. Wow. And but now when we are thinking even on a deeper level about the results, then I think Katri has actually asked again a really good question, that how much do you take into account the possible emotional background of customers in the analysis? Some people are naturally happy, some are pessimistic, perhaps, and maybe even the war, for example, right now could have an impact. And can it be considered, or how much?
Well, very good question. It's a lot about the wording of the question. So we are not asking kind of generally that how are you feeling or what is your emotional state overall, but we are trying to kind of guide the customer with the wording of the question, so that it might be, for example, that how did you what was your emotional state when you were exploring the web store or something like that. So meaning that we are not kind of asking how are they overall in general feeling and what are the emotional state on a general level. We are trying at least to guide the customer to think that specific touch point with us, and it seems that it has worked quite well. We haven't identified any kind of issues or challenges with this topic. It's always so that we are, of course, we are getting different sort of answers and different emotional states from our customers, but then when also deep diving to the open feedback and why this feeling, we usually always kind of find the reasons and what has been driving this particular experience. So this hasn't been a challenge.
Yeah, and can it be so that people anyway every day feel different feelings, and different people feel different feelings every day? So it's part of the calculation that there is this some fluctuation all the time.
Yeah, that's a natural phenomena, that there is always the fluctuation, and then if it's even so that if the customer comes with very negative feelings, and then if we are able to serve him or her very well, and we are able to really make this customer feel good, the EVI might be even higher than it would have been if this customer would have been with the neutral feeling. So it's it's always a opportunity to us as well if the customer is feeling negative in that feeling, in that specific moment when the customer is entering the store.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's now a good place to remind that please feel free to ask any additional questions. We start now summing up the webinar step by step, and just write the questions in the chat, and maybe even to give you some more thoughts for the questions. Then I have again another questions to our audience, and this time the question looks like this: that are you planning to measure emotion experience within the next 6 to 12 months. We have now today talked a lot about emotion experience and how it can be measured. And so how do you feel now? Is it something that is still interesting? And let's come back to the answer soon as well. And in the meanwhile, Sara, it would be amazing to hear now, as the last words, also some great advice from you as a clear emotion experience expert. And what do you think that why one business should measure emotion experience as a part of its customer experience program?
Well, definitely, it's not for every business. That's a clear truth. That if the business is not so kind of emotional sensitive, or how would I say it, then it might not even be the correct choice. But for most of those companies who are, especially in B2C contexts, and who are in, so to say, people business, it's a lot about emotions, and as I mentioned previously, the emotional connect with your customer is something where you should at least to in a way to invest in, or should understand that, because that is also the thing that is correlating with your business performance. So creating more loyal customers and creating more sales, or generating, definitely not kind of directly, but indirectly understanding the emotional connection with your customers and with your brand. That's something that has a crucial role in then gaining other business benefits, or improving your business, or growing your business, and so on. So that's I would say that's the most important reason. It's also quite a concrete metric to your people to understand that what kind of emotional experience we are producing and creating, and why so, and how could we affect on it, and so on. So it's quite a concrete. It's relevant because it's explaining the customer behavior, and then it's easy to use.
Mm-hmm. So basically, why one business should measure it then, to sum up, it is that if there is this emotional connection, and the stronger it is, the more important the emotional experience is,
That's
right?
how I would summarize it and simplify it.
Yeah, and what would be your guess that or who exactly, or which type of businesses could be the ones who you would suggest measuring the emotional experience based on your own experience, so that people, our audience, can think about it, that could they be the fit?
Yeah, somehow I would go for the B2C businesses anyway. Then thinking, for example, retail or hospitality. How hard is it now to pronounce hospitality?
Yes, hospitality.
Business, or so there, the role of the emotional connect is higher than in some other businesses. So in those, at least, I would really consider it as one good option, not the only one, but maybe a very, very valuable option. So at least for us, it has been such a good approach, and has, as I've told, it has been very kind of supporting our growth and supporting our turnover very strongly.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned also brand. What role could the CVI or emotion experience play then in businesses who have a strong brand, or who want to have a strong brand, who are building a brand? Does there the B2B or B2C even make a difference, or it's even could be thought from this perspective that if you are developing a brand, then again this emotional connection is bigger?
Yeah, well,
What do you think?
I would say that especially for those brands which are well known, customers usually have quite a kind of strong connection with the brand, and then it's again about the emotions. So that's even more relevant for those companies who are considering the strong brand and kind of improving the brand preference, or how would I put it? So this is definitely a good approach to understand the brand as well, which is about emotions anyway.
Right. So it could be B2C as well as B2B, as long as there is this emotional aspect that plays a
But
role.
still, I just noticed, Katri, your comment there. I think so that yes, B2B is between people, definitely, but at the same time, the decisions between companies are they are still a little bit different than when we talk about consumers and individual people. So the individual people behavior is even more related to emotions than the kind of company's decision-making processes. So even though there are people who are making the decisions, there are also other facts affecting to those kind of business decisions. And then I don't say it's not relevant, but from my perspective and based on my experience, it's even more important in that kind of businesses where the individual consumer is making that choice and based on his or her own emotions and own experiences. There it plays even bigger role than between companies.
Absolutely, it makes a lot of sense, and definitely it is makes a lot of sense. And but I think that we can actually sum up our webinar. Thank you, our audience. Thank you, Sara, for a very, very great conversation. And just as the last note, then based on our last poll, we can see that more than 60% have chosen that they are interested in measuring EVI. And just right now popped up also one opportunity to those, especially who are interested in measuring EVI that or emotion experience with whatever metric. Then here is an opportunity to meet with Jaakko Männistö. Jaakko is then an emotion experience pioneer here globally, but he's also based from Finland and definitely a strong CX leader here in Finland. And if you're interested in learning and getting a short 30-minute free CX assessment, then Jaakko can definitely help to evaluate the status of your current CX program and how emotion experience could fit to your current emotion experience program, for example. Just click a button and you can book a time right away, or I will send links also afterwards, so you can also do it afterward. But thank you.
Evely, there's one more question. Do we have time today?
Very good.
Yeah.
So Porra says that there could be IT issues. There could be IT issues on web store or out of stock products which make customers unhappy. What measures or actions are you using or considered to mitigate the exponential fluctuation in the EVI scores?
Yeah, well, that's a good question again. So from practical perspective, the volume is the key, which is actually mitigating the fluctuation of EVI scores. But it's also so that if we do have an IT issue or if we do have out of stock products in our web store, that is truly creating a negative emotional experience anyway. So if that happens, then the EVI goes down, and that's a sign for us. Then we definitely need to understand that why is this happening, or how can we impact on it, and so on. So it's not actually a challenge that if these kind of reasons are affecting on our EVI, because those are affecting on the customer experience and on the emotional experience. So it's not actually that important. What is the reason for the negative emotional experience? Because anyway, we need to fix it. We need to improve there, whatever the reason is. And when we ask first the EVI question and then why this particular emotion, and customer gives open feedback, quite often it might be that, okay, I didn't find out what I was looking for, or the item I would like to have was out of stock or something. But then that is actually the fact that is creating the emotional experience. So it's actually quite relevant for us to listen to the different reasons and different customer feedback regarding the EVI. So the fluctuation issue is not a big deal if the volume is high enough. And then if it's fluctuating very heavily, then our aim is to somehow be able to stabilize it.
Right, it's part of the experience that is measured.
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
Right. Okay, but it seems like now all the questions are answered, and we are coming to the end of this webinar. Thank you for the great words in the chat, and thank you everybody for joining this webinar all around the world. And thank you, Sara, for the very, very nice conversation with you. It's always nice to talk to you. And Sara, I wish you a great paternity leave. I know that you will now be move aside from the work, and I wish you best of luck for your future, and see you then at some point when we can see again. And
yes,
have a great rest of the day or evening to everybody who is right now live still.
Yes, thank you everyone. Thank you for the good questions, and Evelyn for the good discussion, and have a great day or evening, everyone.
Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.